Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus, this is Dane, and I am going to be doing your November 30th, 2020 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new readings, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be located in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aquarius. How will Aquarius be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How will Aquarius be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How will Aquarius be affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How will Aquarius be affected excuse me, by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides. Okay. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Excuse me. All right. So let's move these over so you can see a bit better. Okay, cool. Now, the left-hand side here is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And we're going to see how the tarot equates to everything that this moon has to offer from November 30th to December 29th, from full moon to full moon. So we start with the Queen of Swords. This is you, Aquarius, shining through, but this also has you deeply connected to the full moon in Gemini, because Gemini is also an air sign energy. So Queen of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The Eight of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, the Three of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles, earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The Eight of Wands, the Page of Cups. This is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, having you deeply connected as a student to the full moon in Cancer on the 29th of December. Then we have the Ten of Wands, the Empress, the Star. Oh, Aquarius, this is you shining through loud and proud. The Four of Pentacles, because you are represented by the Star in the Major Arcana. You are represented, of course, by the Swords in the Minor Arcana. And then we have the World. Okay, so your public arena is really quite intense during this time. So let's just state that right away, Spirit, saying, state that and claim the power that you have, because there's going to be a sense here that you're looking at the power that is innately yours, and you're thinking, well, that's no big deal. Aquarius, you tend to underestimate yourself or undersell yourself. And that is going to be something here where you're really releasing a lot of the negativity that has bound you, that has kept you held back, that, has it so that it is hard to move forward. And you are moving away from it. You have a repeat of the number 4 here, which is connecting you with your spirit self, which is connecting you with your soul, and also making home and the people that you love astoundingly important. And I do apologize for my dogs. So let's get started talking about this full moon. The full moon is, of course, in Gemini. It is on the 30th of November, and it is the last lunar eclipse of the year. So the last lunar eclipse of the year is on the 30th of November. The last solar eclipse of the year is on the 14th of December. So this is a highly powerful time, because when an eclipse comes in, the power of everything gets amplified. So here it says the answers you need are coming with the full moon in Gemini. And the full moon eclipse says conclusions are within reach. So Gemini is, of course, the moon of fluidity, of information, and a renewal of self. The lunar eclipse brings more potent energy to the table. So this is a time of thinking, of diving deeper, of renewing yourself and embracing your power. This brings your intuitive power to a peak because of the lunar eclipse. Now, do understand that everybody's intuitive power during this time is to their own personal peak. Now, this can be very frustrating because you might sit there and think, wow, why aren't these people more intuitive? Or this is as intuitive as you can be. And I see a lot of you Aquariuses because you live in the realm of intuition. You live in the realm of this higher power, this higher grace. And you can get really frustrated with people just normally not being as sensitively connected to the world as you would like them to be, okay? Or as your heart really needs them to be. And here, this is also saying that as you see that they've reached their peak, this can lead to a frustration. It's like, oh my gosh, am I wasting my time? Like, will we ever see things eye to eye or really come from the same place? The answer is no, you won't come from the same place. But the difference is that whomever, and I feel like this is talking about an earth sign energy or somebody, or a fire sign energy, just like somebody who's really, really grounded. They don't have to be an earth sign energy or a fire sign energy, but they have that stubbornness to them. They have that sense of being very grounded on this earthly plane, being astoundingly practical, and really looking at things in much more of a, factual way. And here you're crowned all by the sacred feminine during this time, by the queens and the empress, who is, of course, the embodiment of all the queens. And so here you are moving off of, yes, you have logic. I mean, I'm not saying that the sacred feminine doesn't have logic, but also off of emotional caring and compassion. It's like, what is it? In psychological studies, they say that men are more inclined towards things. And it's like they're 60% more inclined towards things than women are. And women are 60% more inclined towards people. And so when it comes to people during this time, you're on the money. You have this power to you. It will be kind of like a superpower during this time. This lunar eclipse also brings you this sense of releasing a lot of emotional baggage and clearing away and resetting your emotional state. It's like you had to purge away a lot of what isn't needed. And you can be feeling that. I know I have been most definitely in November. It's like, first of all, emotions within the world ran high, right? And if you're sensitive to that, you definitely felt it, which a lot of you Aquarians are. And then you have here this sense of purging within yourself what is no longer needed, or what you haven't wanted to say, what you haven't thought like, oh, you thought like, oh, if I say that, it makes me a bad person, or if I say that, it's absolutely horrible. And here it's like, no, it's not. It's your truth. And even if you need to purge a truth that isn't nice, you're sitting there, you're frustrated, you're angry, you're upset, you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't stand this anymore. Saying it, releasing it, brings you power, and especially saying it to somebody who listens. Okay, this could be a friend, this could be a family member, not starting a fight, not, because you don't want that. That is something that you're actively trying to avoid during this time. It's like you don't want any upheaval, you don't want any unrest. You just need to state your truth and to move forward. You have the repeat of the number 8 here, excuse me, which is a very serious number. It's again the sacred feminine coming forward. And it is also a number of good luck. You have the repeat of the number 3. Divinity is on your side. Every way you turn, there's grace around you. And that can be frustrating, okay? If you just want to kind of release this negative energy, you have this grace around you and you think, oh, I shouldn't do that. Like, it's going to be wrong, or people will think less of me. It's like, no, they won't. This is a sense of you embracing the humanity of you, and finding the voice that was once lost, or that has been lost. And this eclipse also brings with it great change and a greater connection to your spirit guides, to your angels, to divinity as you move forward. What you do with that is completely up to you. But connecting to that grace, to that understanding, opens up doors for you, opens up a deeper world, which for a lot of you Aquariuses, like, this is where you need to be, moving forward in this truth, in this understanding, and in this connection with sacred truth, okay, with divinity. It's like our world doesn't value that as much as it should. And so you feel, because you have that connection, and Spirit is saying, like, it's an innate connection that you have. And during this time, it really comes forward. And if you ignore that connection within yourself, you ignore a huge part of you. So both of these eclipses also bring you extraordinary spiritual and personal growth. So here it is really an empowering time. It really is. There's a lot that comes, because Gemini brings us the wisdom teacher, is the teacher of wisdom, and also the divine messenger. And sometimes it doesn't seem like Gemini energy should have such grandiose titles, but they do, because it's having us look deeper into what we want and what we desire, and we're seeing all sides of situations, which for you, Aquarius, is going to make you want to be super fair to everybody. You're like not going to want to hurt anybody's feelings. You're going to sit there. Oh, I do apologize. You're going to sit there and want things to be calm and smooth and happy for everyone. Do not put that weight upon your shoulders. Actually, that's one of the things here at your heart. It's like it's rooting you. The fact that you need to release all the weight that you put on your shoulders. The fact that at times you feel like Atlas. And we have to remember that Atlas was punished. When the Titans lost, Atlas was punished by the Greek gods, by the Olympians, by having to hold up the world. And so when we put more and more upon our shoulders, and when we embrace this deeper and deeper stress, okay, it becomes a punishment. It becomes, it does. And so here, there's that release that it's needed, okay? Because you see all sides of the story, and you're going to think, oh, I'll just put this all on me. It's like, no, everybody has to handle their own road, their own way forward, finding their path and their truth. And this brings about restless energy. And this restless energy needs to be understood, because you have your subconscious self. And your subconscious self innately, again, connects with the spirit world much more easily than others. So here, when you connect with the spirit world and these messages are brought to you and they come to the earthly plane, it hits you a lot harder and a lot more profoundly than it does others. So here, you are embracing that energy, and you're seeing a connection. You're seeing a power to things that is easily overlooked, okay? Easily overlooked by others, but it's not going to be easy for you yourself to overlook. This is adding another level to communication, to your words, to your stories, to your truth. This is a fantastic time to start writing. This is a fantastic time for storytelling in any form of media that you want. This is a powerful time for you. you start to see patterns in things. You'll also start to see the pattern in your own self, in the way that you respond to things. It's kind of like, okay, and it sounds silly to say that you'll see like, oh, if I don't get this much sleep, I get cranky. Oh, if I, if I keep on swallowing my words, I get cranky. And you'll see it like that. And there are things that had eluded you before, but are very, very, that seem very, very simple. But when you're in the midst of it all, it's like, oh, oh, okay, that makes me cranky. I'm just using kind of broad examples, but they come up in other ways. It's kind of like if you keep on sacrificing yourself for everybody else, Aquarius, you get cranky. And so here, it's kind of like looking at that crankiness and saying, I don't want that, because that's not where you thrive. Some people are ornery by nature, and they kind of are good at it, right? And that's just what they do. And it's part of their personality. It can even be part of their charm for some people, which is odd to say, but it is who they are. For you, there's too much of a compassionate understanding that leads you forward. And as you're taking in all this information and as you are seeing all these connections, you can get bored really quickly. So just be mindful of that. There's also a duality of personality to you during this time. And the way that it's not handle it, because Spirit is saying like you have to let the two sides of you show. At least, it's like at least two sides of you show. There can be much more. And as you let this show, you embrace a surrendering to the divine. You surrender to this greater power, to this, more passionate truth. And it brings you power, because the lunar cycle is a spotlight for where we need to be and how we need to move forward, and for our past lunar cycle, and how we want things to either change or to stay the same. And as you embrace this, you then enter into the new moon on December 14th in Sagittarius. And this is you taking aim. And this says luck is on your side. But this also pushes you into the unknown, into areas that aren't your comfort zone. And so when luck is on your side, that's a good thing, because you're being pushed out of your comfort zone and you're looking at things more openly, more honestly, and you're trying to take aim at a new moon, at a moon that isn't visible, at a target that you might not be able to fully define. And as you do this, it brings you to new beginnings. It brings you to a new sense of where you need to be, where you want to be, to how you're moving forward, soul and spirit. And you know that a new start is coming. A new start is coming as you take aim, as you walk through that portal. I always see the new moon as being very connected with the god Janus of the Roman pantheon. And the god Janus was the god of beginnings and endings, and the god of portals. He's also the god whose name was given to January, or who gave his name to January. And so here, when we have this power coming in, it's like a new year. It's a new start. It's kind of like the reset button pressed. But it doesn't always feel that way, because it isn't something we celebrate, as people anymore. Or at least most of us do not celebrate the new moon. And maybe we should start, because it's kind of like a little new year celebration, a new cycle, a new beginning, a new growth, a new understanding of soul, of self, of what we desire. And that's going to be important for you as you take aim to what you truly want, but also the deeper questions that are around you, the deeper sense of truth and of coming together. And this then leads you to the full moon in Cancer, which says a personal issue reaches resolution, which is connecting you with the answers you need are coming. The answers you need are coming, and a personal resolution is coming your way. A sense of things being resolved, of it not being so chaotic, it not being so intense, not being so overwhelming. You reach a resolution to your soul and to yourself, and there's a healing that comes in, and there's anointing of the student self, all right? Which I think is really interesting during this time, where as you're moving forward and as you're connecting with the earthly plane and the passion and the fire that you have, the anointing of the earthly self comes forward, and of the earthly self, but the emotional self comes forward, and it moves you more powerfully on this earthly plane and to where you need to be. And then it brings you to the spirit animals for November. Now you have these spirit animals for just one day, and of course you have had them for all of November, and they're really quite cool spirit animals. We have the snake spirit and the eel spirit, and I know people sit there and they say, oh Dane, we have the snake on land and the eel, like the snake in the sea. I don't like this. And that's cool, but here there is a sense of healing coming forward. And a lot of times we don't like the healings. We don't like the way divinity pushes us out of our comfort zones and has us look at things or has our lives change. There's a lot of times where we can rebel against it. And the serpent is something, there is that argument that the reason why our eyesight developed so well and that why we're an apex sight hunter, second only to birds of prey, is because we had to be able to see the snake in the grass, the quite literal snake in the grass. And so here, to see a snake as a sign of healing might be incongruous, but it's also, affiliated with the Asclepian staff that we still use as a sign of healing. So here, take time to heal. This brings healing opportunities to you. It brings change because you're shedding a skin. You're shedding who you once were, and you're embracing who you are now. And you can say that we do this every single day when we wake up, and yes, it's true. But this is more in-depth. This is more intense. You might have found that in the month of November, you were a bit more quick to kind of lash out, a bit snippier, a bit more intense with your emotions and everything. And that's because this is a time where you shed your skin. And as you shed your skin, as a snake sheds its skin, it becomes more vulnerable because its eyesight isn't as good. And so here, as you're shedding your skin, as you're looking at what you desire, your eyesight towards the future is not as good. You might find that you get a little bit petty, looking back at the past, seeing things. I mean, I've seen this within myself, and it's like, oh, I need to heal. I was healing. I was moving forward, and I was looking back as a way to propel myself forward. And it sounds odd to say, but it is very powerful here. And this brings forward important transitions. And this increases our energy and what we desire because it's also showing us what we don't want. And as we do this, the eel spirit says, bring your ideas to life. Because as you heal, the ideas and the ideals that you have start being brought to life. It's not saying we have to live in a paradise. Because I very much agree with Dostoevsky when he said, if we had a paradise, it was like, what was it? It was Dostoevsky's bubbles, right? So you would have your paradise would be a bubble, but because we are human beings, we would pop that bubble. And every single time we would create a paradise, it would be popped by us because it isn't what we want. It isn't what we need. We need challenge. We need people to disagree with us, even though we don't want it or like it. And we need this sense of accomplishment in moving forward. And that's what you're embracing here. When you bring your ideas to life, you're challenging yourself. You're pushing yourself forward in ways that maybe you hadn't imagined before. And as you do so, you embrace your emotions, you embrace your strength of character, and you have foresight for the future. You start looking at the future and saying, where is it that I want to be? And then it brings you to the owl spirit. You see clearly now. And the horse spirit, where it says here, freedom is yours. So the owl spirit has high intuition coming forward. You see what other people can't. You see clearly. Now others, again, also are seeing clearly during this time, but it's colored in the way that's right for them. It's kind of like they see more shades of red if their picture was all colored in with red. And you see more shades of pink if your picture is colored in with pink. And you might sit there and argue, but they're such close colors. Why is it different? And it's like, because they're not the same color. And the shading isn't going to always be the same. So there's a complexity of emotion and understanding here that you will be running up against in December with these spirit animals. But this is high intuition. You see, again, what others cannot. This announces change within you because you're seeing things more openly and more honestly, and you're seeing beyond the deceit and the masks of people, which really has this spirit animal time highly connected with the high priestess. And so you see beyond the masks and you see towards the truth. This transforms you and this brings forward change. The horse spirit, okay, during this time says, freedom is yours. This is the driving force of this time. It's like, freedom is mine. I'm seeing things more clearly. I'm connected. You're highly connected with the sacred feminine energy, and you're pushing yourself forward. What you're going to thrive on during this time is bringing the balance of your intuitive self and your practical self together. It's like, this is what I need for spiritual me. This is what I need for practical me. And as I bring these two together, I become stronger emotionally. And what also happens during this time is that you have strong sexual energy around you, especially in alignment with the horse spirit, with the sacred masculine. So you have the sacred masculine walking in here, you have the sacred feminine coming in. And as you have these two forces coming forward, there is a sense of powerful creative energy. And we see that with the Empress right here. And I would have loved it if you had the Emperor. We'll see that if it's your subconscious message. But you have the Empress right here, pregnant with the possibilities of this creative energy, pregnant with the possibilities of the creative force that is around you, with you, and a part of you. And as you are embracing this, you are cutting through doubts and fears. You're knowing where you stand. You can seem a bit cold at times. It's not because you are actually cold. The thing is, with air sign energies, is yes, they tend to be a bit cerebral at times, most definitely. But you also feel things a lot more deeply. Things can cut deep, okay? Because you'll think about things more, you'll look at things more in depth, and you'll have a tendency to pull back because it's like self-preservation. It's like if I open up that door, I'll be flooded. And so during this time, as you're looking at the answers and as the emotions increase and as the power and the passion around you is amplified, you might find yourself stepping back a bit, becoming a bit more of this warrior queen, because the warrior queen is so important to you, the warrior of your truth, of your passion, of the way that you want to move forward. You have that aspect of you, that warrior aspect of you, with you always. And so here, you look at what it is that you truly desire, you look at what it is that you truly need, and you move forward, cutting to this truth, cutting a path forward for you. And people might sit there and say, Aquarius, you're being a bit cold, but you're not. You're setting healthy boundaries. You're sitting there and you're saying, you know what? People need to carry their own load, and they absolutely do. And then with the connection here to the full moon, all right, and also the connection with you, you're seeing things, and it's just like the chorus of dogs here. It's like things come unexpectedly, and they embrace your energy, they move you forward, and they have you looking at once what wasn't observed. And as you do this, you become a warrior for your truth, a warrior for your passion, a warrior for what you desire, and you become highly in tuned with how much you have worked, sacrificed, and built for your truth and for where it is that you need to be and for what it is that you need within your life and within yourself. And as you're looking at this and as you're building this, you are building, cultivating, and moving yourself forward. This is your hard work, your dedication paying off. And as you, it's not business-minded, but for some it is. I mean, the best way maybe to describe the Queen of Swords is becoming a bit more cold and distant, a bit more quote-unquote business-minded. But it's also looking at things and saying, I cut to the heart of the matter. I cut to the truth of the things. And as I do so, I am empowered, I am emboldened, and I see that my hard work, my sacrifice, my pain, my suffering, my joy, my laughter, it has paid off, and it was for a purpose. And I start rejoicing and embracing the power that is me, the connection with my soul, with myself, with what I desire. And you're going to think, oh, well, this is a highly egotistical time. This is a time where I'm being very selfish. You're not. You're not. If you are not secure within the four walls of your soul, yourself, okay, when will you be? Like, how will you be? How will you be able to move forward for everybody else? You embrace this grace, and this grace, in turn, embraces you. It moves you forward in a way that is breathtaking and beautiful. It helps you see things that were once, kind of beyond imagining. And this is a celebration. This is a time where your inner self is saying, this is me, this is what I want, this is what I've worked for, and I celebrate. I celebrate who I am and what I desire. And as I do so, I see where, people have raised their glass to me and lied. People have said, I celebrate you. And they just don't. They just don't. And you're looking at it. And that's how I see the Three of Cups, always. Always. And so here, when you're looking at it, these are the hurts and the pains that stay. This is the parent that walked out. This is the fight with the sibling that, that left scars. This is the teacher that told you you would be nothing. This is the lover that just destroyed your heart. This is the person, okay, or the people that were supposed to celebrate you, were supposed to be in your corner, and just completely let you down. And as you look at it, this is rooting you in your inner self. It's like, this is what you're a warrior over. You are crowned with looking at this and saying, you do not define me, and you do not get to define me. My hurts, my pains, my disappointments, okay? yes, they are mine, and they have molded me, they have sculpted me, but they have also let me know that I look towards me. And as I look towards me, I see a greater truth. And it's not a reliant on everybody else to bring me happiness, to bring me joy, to bring me positivity within my life. It is that alignment within myself to say, I stand in my truth and I stand in my passion, and you do not get to knock me down anymore. And it brings you then to being the queen of your prosperity, to seeing the seeds that you want to plant within your heart, within your soul, within yourself, and seeing this interconnectedness. Okay, again, what has once eluded you starts to come to light. And as you see it and starts to come to life, it's like, oh, this is it. And you can see threads of your personality. You can see threads of what you desire really coming to the forefront more than they ever had. There's a power, there's a grace, but there's also a sense that you want to be behind the scenes. You don't want to be the king upon the stage, the one that everybody is always turning to during this time. This is a much more private, much more introspective time. So if you could tell everybody, you know what, leave me alone. I am connecting with this moon. I'm connecting with myself. You will find yourself to be greater empowered. And I understand, like, we can't do that. we just can't. There are so many people who rely on us. There are so many people who turn towards us that, and if you can say, you know what, I just need this time and I'm taking it, oh my gosh, is that just a blessing for you during this time? And if you can't, if you can kind of carve out hours hours during the day where you can just connect with you, or 15 minutes, 30 minutes where you are connecting with you, that would be astounding. That would be absolutely astounding. Because as you embrace this prosperity, as you embrace the seeds that you are planting and the bounty that is coming, you have the Eight of Wands. Like, things start to change. And this change comes whether you're ready for it or not. It's like, this is passion, this is creativity, this is fire, this is truth. And it brings an anointing of self. It brings you being a student of what you deeply desire, of where it is that you need to be, where it is that you want to be, body, mind, and spirit. And you see this student mentality of the heart, which is beautiful, okay? Really connected with the personal issue reaching a resolution for the full moon in Cancer. You see this passion, this power, this brilliance really coming forward as you see yourself coming into harmony, as you see yourself living a more holistic life for you, a holistic personage. And as you are anointed by the healing waters, as you wash away a lot of the fears, a lot of the doubts, the angers, the upsets, the upheavals, you start to see things more openly and honestly for you. You start to see yourself transforming. You start to see yourself becoming. And as you become, you are. As you question, you find the answers. Or you find the questions that start to resonate. You might not find the answers. Life isn't always about answers. It can be about the right, profound questions. And that starts moving you forward in a way that you hadn't realized, in a way that you hadn't anticipated. And it brings you towards what you love. But it also lets you see everything that you are carrying that is weighing you down, that is causing you to doubt yourself, that is becoming too much. It's your passion, and it's also what you are giving to everybody else, how you are putting their life lessons on your back. It's like, okay, I'll ease your burden. But in easing your burden, am I creating my own? Am I adding to my own? And will I start to resent it? Because for a lot of you Aquariuses, that is exactly what happens. You start to resent it. You start to resent the added baggage that you are taking on. And you need to embrace your truth, your passion, your power, your understanding. And you also need to look at the dreams that you carry for you, the hopes, the beauty that you have, and say, I get to bring this into my life. I get to bring this into my being. I get to live my dreams, not just carrying them around, saying one day, one day, one day. Now gets to be the day. And I get to start living this dream and living these dreams in a very open, very honest, very beautiful way for me. And then it brings you into the public arena with you being pregnant with possibilities, with it seeming like, wow, I can have the world that I want. I have this beautiful, sensual, creative energy around me. Now, if you have a partner, and I say partner because during these uncertain times, it doesn't seem the best time to mingle and everything like that. This is sexual energy that you want to take advantage of. This can just be so alluring, so beautiful, so intoxicating. And if you don't have somebody to share that with, this can be alluring, intoxicating energy for you to create with, for you to move forward in this sense of a profound connection with divine wisdom, with an opening up the door to your truth, to yourself, to what you desire, to what you want to bring forward and really create within this world. And as you open it, and as you open up to this time, and you open up to the Empress, claiming a voice you thought was lost, claiming a throne you didn't know was yours, or you didn't know was lost. You didn't know that you weren't sitting in your truth. And now, because you're embracing your voice and you're embracing your prosperity, it's like, oh yeah, I get this now. I get that I wasn't embracing everything that divinity could offer me. And then it leads you to the essence of you. It leads you to the star card. And I love that you are the star in the major arcana, because the star is beautiful. It is everything that man aspires to be. It's the highest form of man's perfection. When our ancestors looked up at the night sky, and if you do it now, especially if you don't live in a place with a lot of light pollution, or if you've gone out to the desert or to the forest and you've looked up and you just see the infinitesimal number of stars above us, it's humbling and it's beautiful. And here, that's what you're embracing. And that's part of your soul, yourself, your grace and your power. Humble beauty, humble, just breathtakingness. And as you embrace that, you embrace your truth, your power, and your brilliance forward. This is the wish upon the star, right? This isn't the wish that we cross our fingers and say, oh, I hope I get that new whatever. This is the wish that says, this is my soul, this is what I want. And divinity hears that wish deep inside of us and brings it forward, brings it to the forefront. And as that wish comes to the forefront, you see that you're purging a lot of the negative energy, a lot of the vampiric energy that held you back, a lot of the things to the past that stole away your prosperity, a lot of the things in the here and now that make you think, oh, I can't move forward this way, or make you doubt yourself. This is a corruption of the energy that is around you. These are the people who sit there and say, you're that brilliant star in the sky. Wow, breathtaking. I want, excuse me, I want that power. I want that brilliance. I want that. You don't get to have it. It's mine. And so they siphon it away like vampires. Think of them also as leeches. They steal it away. And so you hold on to what is important to you, but you don't, oh, excuse me. But exactly that. It's like you get choked off. You don't get to go any further. And every time you think about it, it becomes too much work. It becomes too exhausting. It's like, oh my goodness, how can I? And now this is looking at that. It's saying, no, in the public arena, it's taking back your power. And it's the world opening up to you in a profound and in a brilliant way. It is the world becoming part of you again, and you becoming part of the world. It's like doors you didn't even know were locked start to open. Places you didn't even think, oh, I can't walk there, or I can't do this. It's like, oh, yes, you can. It's astounding. The transformation here is astounding. Now let's see what the moon has to say, because I'm excited. This is an exciting reading. Aquarius. How is Aquarius affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How is Aquarius affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. And then let's see here. How is Aquarius affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How is Aquarius affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? How is Aquarius affected by the November 30th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. We have peace, gratitude, the path, blooming, meditate and contemplate, a time to give rather than take. Nothing yet. It's funny because Spirit's like, nothing yet is set in stone, and don't let the past hold you back. That's what this says here. Don't let the past hold you back. The energy gains momentum. New romantic cycle begins. Yeah, of course it begins. You have this profound energy to you, and if you run with it, it's amazing. And it doesn't even mean, it's like, it's not that you have to go out and mingle or, meet new people or anything like that. You can stay in your house or stay where you are, connect with what you want, and do with life as you please. It doesn't mean that you have to, that you're incomplete in any sort of way. And I don't want that. Like, Spirit's like, make sure they understand. It's not going out and finding a partner or anything like that. It is falling back in love with life. It is finding that passion and finding that beauty and finding that brilliance and absolutely embracing it. And it leads you here to this peace of self, because your path comes through peace and gratitude as you embrace the essence of you and you see your hard work paying off. It's like, that's it. And it doesn't mean that everything's right and there isn't any more effort or work put into anything. It's like there's peace of mind that comes from being authentically and brilliantly you and embracing that authentic, brilliant truth. And it brings you to gratitude as this blessing comes in, as the Four of Wands comes forward, the celebration, the beauty, the coming together. And it opens up your path as you leave behind a lot of the negativity that you don't want anymore. It's like, this isn't me. I don't want it. I can't have it. And I'm releasing it. And yes, the path is uncertain. You sit here with the rickety ladder. You're sitting there and you're like, I'm supposed to climb into the sky with this. So yes, have faith. Have faith within yourself and the ascension of your soul. You're blossoming into your power, into what you desire, into the greater you as you embrace your prosperity, and this change happens quickly. It brings you to meditation and contemplation as you are anointed with the healing waters, as you become a student of your heart, your soul, and yourself. And as you do so, it is a time to give rather than take. And you might sit there and say, oh, I'm supposed to give more of me. It's like, no, it's a time to give to you, rather than taking away the burdens, the upsets, the upheavals of everybody else. It is time to be that caretaker to yourself, that nurturer, that healer to you. It is time to give rather than take. And as you do so, don't let your past hold you back. Don't. As you embrace the possibilities of the future, okay? As you embrace the energy of yourself, the essence of you, it brings you to the energies gaining momentum as you release the negativity, the vampiric energy that has held you back, that has taken away your power. And as the world opens, a new romantic cycle begins. A new power comes forward. Your subconscious Luna message is boundaries, healthy boundaries, very important. Okay? Boundaries for those around you, boundaries for yourself, and saying, this is what I want and this is what I need. And then believe in the impossible. The impossible becomes possible as you do so, as you embrace your world on your terms and in your truth. It then brings you to your subconscious tarot message, which is the Lovers, which is Gemini energy in the major arcana. But this is, again, falling in love with life, having that beautiful sensual energy around you and utilizing it in a way, that is just sensually wonderful. And embracing the essence of what you love and of what is deeply important to you. All right, Aquarius, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. Yeah. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we walk forward in our truth and as we embrace this beautiful, sensual energy that is around us, and we create a new and profound world with it. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aquarius, and may you have a blessed moon.